Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're tackling something you probably have on you right now, something we use every single day, but honestly, we rarely stop to think about how Bluetooth earbuds actually work. We're going to break down the magic happening right inside your pockets.
Think about it for a second. We treat these tiny little gadgets like absolute magic. You pop them in your ears, hit play on your phone, and boom! Your favorite song, a gripping audiobook, or an important call just streams in crystal clear. No cords, no tangles, just pure sound floating right through the air. But seriously, how on earth does a full orchestra fit into a piece of plastic the size of a jelly bean? It's an absolute marvel of microengineering. So let's unpack exactly how it all comes together.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the invisible radio station, then a look inside the tiny supercomputer. After that, we'll cover the true wireless magic, smart sensors and ANC, and finally, solving common earbud problems.
All right, part 1, the invisible radio station. So Bluetooth is quite literally an invisible radio station operating in the 2.4 gigahertz wireless band. Fun fact, it actually shares this airspace with your Wi-Fi router and even your microwave. When you connect your earbuds to your phone, they set up a direct radio link. But there's a bit of a catch. High-quality audio files are massive, and Bluetooth just can't transmit all that data in real time. So your devices rely on something called a codec. You might have seen names like SBC, AAC, or aptX. Basically, these codecs rapidly compress and shrink those huge files so they can squeeze right through the Bluetooth connection, all while keeping your music sounding great. Moving on to part 2, inside the tiny supercomputer.
You wouldn't believe the staggering amount of tech packed inside each earbud. First off, you've got a microchip. This acts as a tiny but incredibly powerful computer that manages the Bluetooth connection and decodes all that audio. Then you have a micro lithium-ion battery, measured in milliampere hours, running the whole show. Toss in multiple microphones and a tiny audio amplifier, and it's already getting crowded in there. But the real star? That's the dynamic driver. Even though it runs on incredibly low power, we're talking just 2 milliwatts with a 32-ohm resistance, this tiny speaker acts as a diaphragm. It converts digital signals into physical vibrations, literally moving the air inside your ear canal. And that is what your brain interprets as rich, detailed sound.
Part 3, the true wireless magic. Remember the old days of quote-unquote wireless earbuds that still had that annoying wire connecting the left and right sides together? Well, today we have true wireless, and honestly, it is much harder to pull off than it sounds. Because there's a physical space, your head, between the left and right earbud, the Bluetooth signal has to travel from your phone to one earbud and then relay all the way over to the other one. Naturally, this creates a slight delay, or latency. To fix this, your earbuds calculate something called ping time. The primary earbud measures exactly how long it takes for a signal to reach the secondary earbud. It then intentionally applies a tiny delay of a few milliseconds to its own audio. That way, the sound hits both of your eardrums in perfect, simultaneous stereo sync. Pretty genius, right? And this brilliantly illustrates a really common mystery. Have you ever noticed that the battery in one of your earbuds drains just a little bit faster than the other? Well, good news, it's not a defect. One earbud is actually designated as the primary. It's pulling double duty, connecting to your phone, processing the audio, and syncing with the secondary earbud. Meanwhile, the secondary earbud has a way easier job. It just sits there and receives the audio. So naturally, the primary earbud is going to burn through its battery a little quicker.
Okay, part 4, smart sensors and ANC.
Let's talk about active noise cancellation, or ANC. This isn't just about sealing your ear tightly with a silicone tip. Earbuds with ANC actually have external and internal microphones that are constantly listening to the environment around you. When they detect a consistent noise, like say, the low rumble of an airplane engine, the internal chip instantly generates an opposite sound wave. It's basically an anti-hum. This wave crashes into the incoming noise and cancels it out, leaving you in total silence. On the flip side, there's transparency mode. This uses those exact same microphones to intentionally pass the outside world into your ear, so you can order a coffee or hear traffic without ever having to take your earbuds out.
But the intelligence doesn't stop there. Have you ever wondered how your earbuds know to auto-pause the music the second you take one out? That's all thanks to proximity sensors detecting when they leave your ear. Then you have accelerometers that can actually tell if you're walking, running, or just standing still, which helps adjust the sound profiles. And for phone calls, it's not just one microphone picking up your voice, it's a whole system. Beamforming microphones focus specifically on your mouth, while bone conduction sensors actually detect the physical vibrations in your jawbone when you speak. That is exactly how your friend can hear you loud and clear, even if you're walking down a terribly windy street.
Finally, Part 5. Solving common earbud problems.
So, the crucial point I want you to remember is this number right here, 90%. Picture this. You pull your earbuds out, put them in, and only one side is playing music. The other one is completely dead. Your first instinct is probably to toss them in the trash and buy a new pair, right? You just assume they're broken. But listen to this. In 90% of cases, it is not a hardware failure at all. It is simply a software dissync between the primary and secondary earbuds, or just a really minor charging glitch.
The easiest fix resolves half of these issues in about 30 seconds. Simply put both earbuds back into the charging case. Make sure the little LED lights up so you know they are actually seated right. Close the lid and, here's the really important part, wait 10 to 15 seconds. You see, when they go back to the case, they perform a brand new digital handshake with each other and the case. If you just pop them in and pull them right back out immediately, that handshake totally fails. Give them that 10 seconds to resync, pop open the lid, and they'll likely work perfectly again.
Now, if that doesn't work, take a close look at the metal charging contacts. Salty sweat, dust, and earwax can create this invisible insulating layer over time, so the earbud looks like it's in the case, but it isn't actually taking a charge. Taking just 30 seconds once a week to wipe down the metal pins on the earbuds and inside the case with a dry cotton swab prevents 80% of those uneven charging problems. But a huge warning here, never use alcohol, water, or any liquids, and absolutely never use a metal pin or paper clip to scrape them, because you could easily cause a short circuit.
Sometimes the problem isn't the earbuds at all, but the pairing process itself, especially on computers. If you're pairing to a Windows PC, the flow is super simple, but honestly often overlooked. You just go to Start, then Settings, then Bluetooth and Devices. Make sure that Bluetooth toggle is actually switched on. Then, put your earbuds into their discoverable pairing mode and select them from the list. And hey, if it fails, always double-check that your PC hasn't accidentally been put into airplane mode. It happens more than you'd think.
And what if you are crossing ecosystems? Say you want to connect your Apple AirPods to a Windows PC or an Android phone. Don't worry, it's completely possible. Because at the end of the day, at their core, they are still just standard Bluetooth devices. Just turn on your device's Bluetooth, open the AirPods case with the buds still inside, and then press and hold the small setup button on the back of the case for about 5 seconds. If you have one of the newer models, you might just need to double tap the front. Once the status light starts flashing white, they are in standard pairing mode and will show up right on your non-Apple device's Bluetooth list.
The pace of innovation in this space is just staggering. I mean, we've gone from tangled cords to literal smart computers in our ears in just a few short years. But think about what's coming next. What happens when these devices evolve beyond just playing audio? With the integration of biometric sensors that can track your heart rate or even take your body temperature, plus new spatial audio formats that track the movement of your head to immerse you in a full 360-degree soundscape, earbuds are rapidly becoming a completely new category of wearable tech. So the next time you pop them in, I really want you to ask yourself, are you just listening to music, or are you wearing the future? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning and keep exploring.